Holbrook, joined by Miles Holiday, Nate Garlock.
Yep, that's the right order.
We are the three wise men. Gentlemen, the ladies' tournament is set. The men get picked next weekend. It's the best time of the year. And I say that after every season.
Well, we're going to prove it later. We're going to talk about why we think it is, and we're going to see who wins. I got a sneaking suspicion I know how this one's going to work out, big guy.
I think you're right.
Danny, are you talking about the Queen of the Court tournament, or are you talking about the state tournament?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is. Let's show them our how to contact us and how to send us letters.
All right, there it is right there. Three wise men at WTLW.com. Had some great questions a week ago. We'll dive into it probably next week again.
Drop us a line. Let us know what you think of the show. Give us your questions. We're not afraid to answer everything.
Well, how about this? Queen of the Court tournament is on this show. Give us your response. Did we get it right?
Yeah, great idea. But right now, I know what we're going to get right, and it's the Diamond Dave Bowen best thing we saw this week.
Nate, why don't you go ahead and get started this time?
All right, sure, no problem. So for me, I'm going to start with, I was at Columbus Grove for the Columbus Grove-Bluffton rivalry game. You know, there's rivalries in sports, you know, Duke, North Carolina, Ohio State, Michigan, the New England Patriots versus everybody else. Right? There's all these rivalries. Bluffton Columbus Grove is that type of rivalry. The gym, you could tell it was
Great
alive.
atmosphere.
It doesn't matter what anybody's records are or you throw all that stuff out, everybody goes into it. It was a great night, it was a great atmosphere. But one of the things that was the highlight of it, and it kind of gets lost in the shuffle because you talk about the high flyers at Lima Senior and some of the other people around here. But I'll tell you what, Gavin Baxter and his ability to elevate and the dunks that he throws down, they look effortless. You don't even think they're coming. You think he's just going to go up for an easy layup the way that he's approaching, and then all of a sudden it is a two-handed slam that just gets the gym ignited. It was a lot of fun. He had a couple of different ones in that win for Columbus Grove. That was a lot of fun to be a part of and be able to call that. And then my other one, I just want to highlight a milestone. And at this point, it seems like every week we're talking about a new milestone for Cam Elwer. Well, he reached another one. He has moved into the top 5 all-time in OHSAA history in three-pointers made. He did that Friday night against New Bremen. I had him Saturday against Bath. He only scored, I think it was 36 that night, hit a bunch of more threes. He continues to move up the all-time scoring list. He's moving up the all-time three-point made list. Going to set a lot more records before it's all said and done.
It's a great weekend for you.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Look, I had a little bit of fun also on Friday night. Got to see history, really. Van Wert, for the first time in, some would say, some 1990. Mark Bagley told me after the game it was 38 years since they'd won at the Supreme Court, but the people at Van Wert, they lost their minds, and rightfully so, right? That was a great win, kept them alive. They're going to have the big showdown against Shawnee for the WBL title. That was a massive win, but a little part of what took place in that game, OG, like they always do, clawed back into that one in the fourth quarter. I think they cut it to 5. There was a couple calls that didn't go against Van Wert, and it looked like they were starting to lose their mind, right? Sometimes that happens, the pressure gets you. But Cohen Bragg, just real quick, grabbed his guys, brought them together, and you could tell he got a settling effect on them, said, guys, don't worry about it, let's just go win this basketball game. They went on to win that basketball game because of the leadership of Cohen Bragg. Great atmosphere over there. Also this week, look at what we got here, guys.
Some of that.
A Findlay women's basketball poster autographed by some of the local talent that plays at Findlay University right there. I want to thank William and Lauren Akmoudi for making sure we got that. That's a pretty cool thing to get right there.
Absolutely. We got one in the radio station hanging up.
So we'll find a place for that to keep it here at WOSN. And our good friend Chris Howell, who will be on the show when we break down the Queen of the Court tournament. Excited for him because what happens this week? He gets to call his first basketball game here at WOSN. We wish him a lot of success. And he's working with you, right,
He's
Danny?
in the booth with me, yeah.
All right, so if he survives that, he's gonna move on.
I'm a tough critic.
You are.
He's all right there. He's okay.
Last but not least, guys, sometimes we forget about those programs that should get talked about a lot more, right? And I'm talking about cheerleading. We all love the job that the cheerleaders do, and you've seen them do it where they hold up the Go Big red signs like that. So I saw that over the past weekend, and I was like, man, that is really good how they get the fans fired up like that. So I thought I would use that here on the show. I have some cards that I'm going to hold up, and I want you guys to yell out what the cards are, okay?
Did you know this?
All right,
No,
here we go.
It also seems like I don't
know.
All right, here we go. What?
I.
Very good. All right.
There's no chance it sounds well for us.
Heart.
Love.
Love.
Either one. I love.
Okay. Nope, not happening. I already can see we got it. Nope.
I can't see.
What's that say? What's that say?
Shot.
Shot. Yep. And last but not least, I love
The shot
Time
clock.
out.
I love the shot clock
To not exist.
Yes!
I love the shot
the
clock
shot
not
clock.
to exist.
Improve high school
You're
basketball.
no longer allowed in the block room section. No longer. Yeah.
Thank you, cheerleaders, for giving me the inspiration on that.
Yeah, I'm sure they're happy for you. Guys, the best thing I saw this week has nothing to do with high school basketball. It has everything to do with humanity. And what we saw happen between Shawnee and Indian Lake this weekend was just, there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
Yeah.
And Indian Lake senior Owen Kaiser, I believe is how you say his name, he is confined to a wheelchair, and they let him come out for the starting lineups. They put him in the game. He made a assist to his cousin. We did not know that.
That's really cool.
And he shot the game. It doesn't matter who won that game, and Shawnee won big, but what a great night when two communities came together. And did you know that Owen went to Shawnee before he went to Indian Lake?
Yeah, I saw that.
And those two communities came out. They supported this young man. They made his dream come true. And we argue about high school basketball and high school sports all the time, and we get mad at each other.
I don't say argue,
And
we debate
We
it.
debate, and
We wouldn't have to if you guys would just agree with
Yes,
me.
agree with you.
and
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
right point of view.
But everybody in the gym that night agreed that Owen Kaiser should be celebrated and honored, and yeah.
It's taken over social media. It's everywhere, and rightfully
awesome.
so. That's a great
It's
thing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just good people doing good things, and we salute you, Owen, and just
great.
thank you for being who you are. So
Yeah, that's
just
a cool thing.
Good stuff. All right, coming up next, we've got a fantastic interview. The Bluffton Pirates are in the house. Todd Boblitt and Bean Ginther, and that's coming up right after these messages. Tonight's interview is brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Wapak, Delphos, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering, too. It's interview time here on The Three Wise Men, and the Bluffton Pirates are in the house. Head coach Todd Boblitt and Bean Ginther. Gentlemen, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with you, Bean, and a little bit of, we were talking off the air a little bit about coming off of a injury and how tough that's been this year, and not only just rehabbing, but getting back to where you feel like I'm 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say going into the season, no one expects to have an injury, and just that kind of surprised me, but also I tried to look at the positive side of it, and having a bunch of young guys that need experience to play, they kind of got thrown into a position, and now we're kind of at the back end of the season, and they got more experience that they wouldn't have got if I was maybe playing, so I look at that as a positive, and then, just coming back from it and rehabbing, and our trainer's been great, and just kind of coach has also worked with me really well, and just saying, hey, if you're not feeling great in a practice, just kind of ease into it and slow it down, and so it's been really good, and there's been no problems with it. So
Did you get a little bit of when you weren't playing? Were you still going to practices and still guiding those guys and the younger guys? I know you got some really good young players.
Yeah.
And, what was your role then?
yeah, so I'd come to every practice, and once I'd get my rehab done, or if it was more in the resting process, I was able to just to coach them up, and coach would let me have just a little time, talk to the guys, and we kind of work together with whatever. I'd go with some of the guards and just teach them some of the skills that I've learned from all the years I've been in the program. Which has been really
Did you
cool.
go Coach Boblitt style or like Bobby Knight style? Did you get after him?
I want a little Bobby Knight.
No chair throwing, though, right?
I'm
Right.
just glad you knew who Bobby Knight is, right?
At least you pretended. Right? So a lot of times you hear athletes say, nobody likes getting injured, but it was a blessing in disguise. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's a blessing. And, I mean, everything that gets thrown at me, I feel like I can always try to look at the positive side of it. Like, you could really say, I could look at the negatives of it and get really down about it, but why not see all the positives through it and just come back through it and stronger than ever.
Danny and I had, I think, the second game back at Kenton. You were in that game, right? I think you played Friday, then Saturday. How long did it take you to where you're like, this thing is fine. I'm going to be okay?
Yeah, well, a lot of my family and friends have said, like, yeah, once, like, I could come back the week before, and that was kind of up in the air. And they were like, yeah, well, if you come back, will you kind of just go 50% or just kind of ease into it? And I'm like, if I'm playing, I'm going 100%.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, there's no laying back. And so once I got out on the court, even just Friday night, the first night, it was like, okay, this feels good. I'm back in it. I'm 100%. So, yeah.
So now, you guys, this season hasn't been what you guys are used to. It's been a while since you guys have had kind of a down year like this year. But lately, things seem to be going a little bit better. Teams looked a lot better, Coach. Getting you back healthy has really helped it. Brody Donnelly stepping up for helping you guys with scoring. And that game Friday night was a game where I don't know a lot of people, it's a rivalry game, we know all those things, but it's like, Bluffton's down, Grove's doing all right, maybe. And that was anything but that. That was an exciting back and forth, everything a rivalry game should be. But what has it been like this year kind of going through the injuries, having a bit of a down year? But the nice thing about high school basketball here in Ohio, it doesn't matter if you get off to a rough start. It's how you're playing at the end, and you guys seem to be kind of rounding into form now.
Yeah, I guess every season you have its own journey. This year's been unique in that we've had so many different challenges in terms of our own health and having some youth that are playing as well that have had to kind of grow into really key roles for us. So navigating any season is usually a challenge. This year, it's been a mega challenge at different times. But we tell our guys all the time, as long as we stay together and we stay the course, we're going to be fine. And our guys have been really good about it. So they've continued to grow, and each day we've come in, we've had good practices. There haven't been many days where we've left practice thinking that we didn't take a step forward. So we're still trying to, grow a little bit. I don't think we've reached our ceiling, which is good for this group, and hopefully we find that ceiling really soon. But I would just say there have been challenges along the way, but we're always grateful for just the opportunity to be able to do what we do.
And then what about for you, coming back from the injury and then having not the smoothest of seasons, and how's it been like for you in trying to navigate that as a leader for a young team?
Yeah, I would say one thing that I've kind of thought about is, you said not as maybe a disappointing season, but I'd say it kind of you have to look at it from your own point of view. And I've kind of looked at this, you have to have your own measure of success. And if you just look at the win and loss column, then maybe we won't have the best measure of success in most people's eyes. But the relationships that have been built, and like you said, being a leader out there, that's been forcing me to be in a position that I haven't usually been in. So that's been just great for me to learn, and also just build relationships with these guys, which has been really fun. And we've just grown together as a unit. And like Coach said, sticking together. He ends every practice, we get in a huddle, and we all say we stick together, team on three. And that's every single practice. That's how we end every game. And I think getting to the end of the season, I think we are sticking together. This group of guys we have together right now, if we keep continuing to stick together, then we could finish this season out really well.
Love the maturity in that
How do you
answer.
coach
It's
such rebellious
fantastic.
youth?
Oh my goodness. Did you guys go through these on the way down? I mean, Coach, where's this maturity? Where's this leadership come from? Has he always had this?
Oh, I think so. He's unique. He's always been a really good leader for us. So we've been really blessed to have guys like him in our program. I think that hopefully he learned from guys that came before him. But I'm very thankful to be able to coach where we coach in a community that has great family support. So to hear his response is tremendous.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Coach, what's the secret to the culture over there? I mean, looking at your records here from a few years ago, 21 wins, 16 wins, 17 wins, 16 wins. I mean, what's the secret? I think you got to have good players, obviously.
Yeah,
but
we have to have good players.
It's all coaching.
You get 27-year-old transfer students.
Well, we have a plan. We have an off-season program that we put in place, and we've had guys that have really bought into it, have put a lot of time into developing their craft, and I think that we focus a lot. I know that nowadays the talk is always about culture in your locker room, and that's always, I think, been a key piece to what we do. That we want our guys to understand that it takes a lot of work. This is a really hard game to play. It's definitely a hard game to be good at, and so they know the process that it takes to be able to put together a quality product. And I think that over the years our guys have bought into that, and we've we've been blessed to have some success out of it.
Yeah. And what about you? Look, Bluffton is any town USA. It's Mayberry. I mean, good families, good people.
Danny, do you know who Mayberry is?
Is that Andy Griffith?
Right.
He's like 34 years old. My goodness. I knew he would know it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, look, Friday nights are special, whether it's football, basketball, or whatever.
Yeah.
And the support from the town's got to be tremendous, as he said it. You know, great families, great community. It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been so much support, and even after just this season, which there's been down games, and I personally don't take losses very well. I'm a very competitive guy, but there's just been so much support, and that's been good for me, supposed to be the leader and leading all these young guys. Then I also have parents and just people that maybe sometimes I don't even know, and they're just coming up to me and giving me encouragement, and just it's really helpful, and just kind of build your spirits up.
Coach, what's tougher, developing the young kids to get where you need them to be, or working with the upperclassmen who know what they're supposed to do but yet haven't got there yet?
Well, I think the game is all about development. So I think that the process of development is so consuming that you really have to have special guys that buy into it, that want to be in the gym, that want to kind of go through that grind, so to say, you know, as it is a year-long commitment anymore. So I think, you know, continuing the development of young kids into really good players down the line is still a big task.
So moving forward now, we've talked about kind of how the ups and downs and the challenges you guys have faced. But moving forward, things seem to be looking well, teams playing well. That's all that matters at this time of the year. You know, you're still trying to get to a ceiling here, and we're getting down to it. But what's the outlook for the rest of the season? You know, tournament's going to look a little different for you guys this year. You're going to have some different teams that you haven't typically seen come tournament time. Hopefully you understand this new tournament bracket. I still don't. I can't figure out any of this, where anybody's going.
I bet he does.
Yeah, you may have to explain it to me. But what's the outlook for the rest of the season?
Well, for us, it's always be where we're at. I mean, we're so present driven that we have a game tomorrow night with Elida. That's our sole focus. That was the only thing we talked about tonight, you know, at our practice, and how we prepare and put our best foot forward for our game tomorrow. Once that game's over, we'll kind of turn the page and try to get a little bit better over the next couple of days, and then take on our next opponent. So we really try to keep our guys' mindset to stay in the present. It's really difficult because guys like to daydream and think about what's coming up, and maybe even think about what previously happened, and both of those can really persuade you to think in a negative outlook, or really be anxious about what might be coming up. So if we can just stay in the present tense, I think it gives us an advantage.
Should be easy come tournament time, because nobody knows you're going to play next, or where you're going. It should be
Right,
real easy just to focus on one.
Right.
I got to be honest, I'm a little disappointed that all you talked about at practice was just the game in front of you and not coming on the three wise men. I mean, how did you not bring that up?
Coach, how long do you see yourself doing this? I mean, you've had tremendous success. I don't know, other than coaching the last 5 years that's had the success you guys have had. How long do you see yourself doing this?
Well, I love doing it. I'm honored to be able to do it in the community that I'm able to do it at. I couldn't tell you what the future looks like, but I still,
maybe not a fair question,
right? No, but I still really enjoy doing what I do. I love being with these guys. I hope to be able to do it, for as long as I can, and for as long as the community allows me to do it.
Absolutely. I got to ask you, one team you want to beat the most every year?
I'd say, just looking at the beginning of the season, probably just Columbus Grove. That's kind of just.
We have a huge viewership over there. They're watching. They're watching. When we had the Grove guys on, guess what they said?
Yeah.
Bluffton.
And some in the fall when we had some Bluffton guys on, and guess what? It was Columbus Grove.
And the people in the production booth, I'm not allowed to ask the coaches that anymore because I got in trouble. So we're not allowed to ask coaches.
Being other than becoming the future mayor of Bluffton at some point in time, what's on the docket? Where do you see yourself? What's your goals in life?
Yeah, so this next year I'm going to plan on going to Ohio State Lima and pursue a career in early childhood education. I've loved helping out in the classrooms, and
That's cool.
I spend my day at the high school, but I'd say probably 2 or 3 hours of that day I'm actually in elementary school, just helping out in different classrooms or serving lunch to the kids, and I just love it so much. Like, I just want to spend, the rest of my career there. So
Maybe a little coaching as well.
Yeah, that just comes right with it, and I feel like those kind of go hand in hand, and that's
fantastic.
yeah.
What has Coach meant to you in your 4 years at Bluffton?
Yeah, I'd say in our community, people don't see what goes on inside of practice, but if they were to see who Coach truly is and like how much he really does care for us players and how much he cares for our growth and not just our skill set, but like our personal growth, I'd say I couldn't ask for a better coach. And there's just, you have to experience it for yourself. And if you are in the program, Coach Boblitt is just the guy, and he's the best coach that I've ever had, and I can't imagine having any other coach. So
I'm done with interviews. You cannot top this. We're done.
It's fantastic.
How a coach isn't over their ball, and I'm
trying to hold it together
You
here.
say that about me, and I'm going to cry.
Was there money exchanged?
no money.
Coach, what do these kids mean to you?
Well, that's tough because I could get emotional. So, but yeah, to have guys like Bean, to have guys that we've had in the past that have been part of this is really this is just a special role that I think that we're afforded to have, and I hope that in what I do, I don't ever take it for granted.
That's fantastic.
Well, Coach, the good news is on the bad days, this will be on the internet forever. You
Right.
can watch this and help you get through them bad days for sure.
Yeah, right.
Lighten us up, Miles. Lighten us up.
Well, before we get to rapid fire, I do have one more question because as a high school football coach, I was a lunatic, right? But when I watch you, I love how he talks in the past tense with that type of stuff.
We work with him every day.
But one of the things I love watching you coach basketball is you are such a calm influence on the sideline. You keep everything even keel. How have you been able to develop that?
I think it's just my personality. I see the probably the bigger picture and the majority of what we do. It's just, I know Bean talked about, the wins and losses. Winning, of course, is the goal to any game that you play, whether it's checkers or, you going down the line. But there's something bigger at play in everything that we do. And I think that it's important that our kids and our community sees that, you don't want your highs to be too high, you don't want your lows to be too low, that there has to be an evenness about you. And I just try to live that way.
Man, I need to get a time machine and go back and do it again. Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. It's open to both of you guys here. I want to answer from each one of you on this one, okay? Green, kidney, or refried bean? Which is the best?
I'm going to go refried beans.
Refried bean?
Yeah,
I'll have to say refried beans as well. Yeah.
Correct answer.
Tie that into what we're doing.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah.
But Nate,
I got it. I just couldn't use asking him a bean question. The fact that it took you that long, there's a chance it'll be renewed for season 3.
Who knew?
Season 2, are you kidding me? All right, guys, you have to pick one of the three, all right? A hook for a hand, an eye patch, or a peg leg made out of wood.
Pirates.
I would go with an eye patch.
Eye patches are cool.
Yeah.
I'll take a hook for a hand. That'd be pretty sweet. Just walking around.
How would you defend with that, though, right?
That could be a bonus. Just breaking people.
No one's taking him one-on-one at all. Now, the fouls will be very obvious.
He's tucked into the guy with the ball.
He's like, I didn't touch him. What are you talking about?
I tried to tell you guys.
What's your favorite thing about downtown Bluffton?
I'd say the community. Just different. You walk down the street, go get a lift with a bunch of guys, go play pickleball. Just a bunch of fun stuff. Yeah.
I would say just being able to walk down Main Street with your family and you know people. It's the truest sense of a community. So just being able to be a part of that.
Anytime I get an assignment during the fall to go do a Bluffton football game, I love it. I want to get there early just because of the atmosphere. It is a special place. I agree with you on that. Coach, what's one thing that the kids say that makes you laugh?
Well, that's pretty good. I've got to think on this one. It wouldn't be like 6'7" or something like that.
Let's hope that's finally going.
Right.
And Bean, what's one thing that Coach always says, and you guys go, "Oh, here he goes again"?
Oh, well, I mean, he has a lot to say sometimes in film, and then after he's done with everything, he says, "Sorry to beat a dead horse, guys," which is like you say that after every time you beat the dead horse. You say it like a little too late for that.
It's kind of redundant.
Right. All right, guys. The last one is a challenge. Okay, you both have to do an impression of a pirate to see who has the best pirate impression. Bean, do you want to go first?
I'll let Coach go first.
He's so good. He's so good.
They do media training up there.
Arr, baby.
I like it. Awesome. Bean, that's pretty tough to top.
Top that.
Arr.
Went for the missing hand. I like it.
Fantastic
guys,
stuff.
You got a big game tomorrow night against Delilah. What's the key to getting the win?
Well, we've got to control their guards. Their guards are pretty good. They're explosive. We've got to rebound, and like we talk about all the time, we've got to execute what we do well, be ourselves. And one thing that high school guys are usually deficient at is communicating. And the more we can communicate, the faster we are, the better we are. So I think those are kind of the key ingredients for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I like it.
You guys, Elida's a bigger school. Do you guys talk amongst yourself, hey, this is the big guys are coming into town? It feels good when you're a smaller school and beat a bigger school, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really look. I mean, going into their gym, it might be like, oh, this is a nice
pretty
gym.
impressive.
Yeah. But I mean, when they come there, it's like, oh, this is another team. They're right on the other side of us, and we just gotta play a physical game and get the win.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in. You guys have been
Thank you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I await you to take Coach's job someday.
Right. That should have been my answer, right? Whenever Bean's ready.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This was great, guys. Good luck to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Welcome back in, gentlemen. It is time. I say gentlemen. I know. Now, I'm getting there. I'm getting
You wanna
there.
restart, or like
I'm
we're just gonna keep this tape?
I'm saying gentlemen and the princess of positivity, the one who we should thank for this, the wonderful Kelsey Beimer.
Special K.
Yeah.
That's my new nickname, I guess, everybody.
I would stick with the Princess of Positivity.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's saying, well,
Getting that
we
from
won't say
Miles
that,
is
yeah.
probably not.
Chris
That's what
Al.
I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Chris Al from the Lima News is here. And gentlemen, it is that time of year again. We did it last year. We had huge responses all over the world. All over the world. It's the queen of the court. Kelsey, how'd you come up with all this?
It was hard, you guys. I mean, I was literally, I'm not even joking. I was sitting at my desk just going through each team, and I sent you guys like 20 girls, and we're like, okay, let's whittle it down to 8. So,
No, there were girls I didn't know who they were. I'll be honest.
really? Yeah, there's so much talent around the area. So this is really hard. We got it down to 8 girls, and we decided to choose one from each team. So this by no means is 1 to 8 in my eyes. You know, there's a lot of girls that we featured more in the past, and I wanted to get more, I guess, sight on other girls. So that's how I chose it. Of course, they're all really fantastic in the area, but this is by no means like 1 to 8 best talent in the area sort of thing. Just some girls that I wanted to highlight and see how it would be in a 1v1 tournament.
Before we get to the rules from Miles, why don't you give us the 8 girls that you selected?
Yeah. So first off, we have Carson Erford from OG.
Should we clap or wait till everybody's spends time?
Whatever you want. So we have Carson with Sydney Payne from Kitten.
Yeah, she's good.
No.
Yeah.
Yep. Kendall Paltzy from Columbus Grove. Megan Gherkin from Liberty Benton. Kalia Lester from Lima Senior. Brooklyn Kester from Ottoville. Clara Goki from Spencerville. And Haley McCoy from Crestview. And we have a couple honorable mentions too. Maybe if we have time, we can go through those later. But those are the 8 that I decided to put in the tournament for this year.
All right, Miles, tell us the rules of this contest.
All right, so it's a one-day tournament, and it's all half-court based. Games are up to 7. Now, we said 7 because there's going to be multiple games that are being played, right? You don't want everybody worn out. You have to win by 2. 2-point shots are the ones that are behind the arc. Everything else is 1. We do have officials. If there was a shooting foul, you go to the free throw line, you make it. That is a 1 point. We have 2 officials. Let's see. You got to take the ball back to the 3-point line every single time. You can't catch an air ball and put it in like some people do when they play one-on-one. One thing we do have to talk about, maybe adding next year, I saw this in the WNBA, having outlet passers. They'll allow post players to have an advantage. We think it's a guard-oriented one-on-one tournament right now. If you have an outlet passer, now a post-up opportunity comes from post-up players. I think that's something we need to discuss and add for next year.
So 2-on-2?
Well, it'd be one-on-one.
Yeah.
But you get a rebound, you kick it out to a teammate, and then you can repost on the low block and catch it from there.
Fair enough. Let me ask you two gentlemen this question. Did she get it right? Did she get the right ones?
Well, I don't know that it's about getting it right.
I put you on the spot there.
Well, no, it's not about getting it right because there's so many talented. Even, we did this last year. We did Queen of the Court. We did King of the Court. We'll have King of the Court coming up this year as well. There's so many good players.
Sure.
We're going to leave kids out. And it doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be in here. We don't think that is good. We can't have a 64-person one-on-one tournament. Right. Eventually, we have constraints that television says that we can't be here for that long. These are 8 incredible players from this area, and like she said, it's not about being the top 8. This is just the 8 that she decided to go with for this tournament. Sometimes people aren't available; they can't play in tournaments. It's on a weekend, they got something else because of the multiple sports they play. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why they may not be able to participate, and we're just gonna pretend like that's
an imaginary tournament.
And we're just gonna pretend that was the reason they had another game they had to participate in.
Speaking of that, we do have some injured girls in here, which also we aren't taking into account.
Right. Everybody's 100%.
They're all 100% healthy.
Everybody's 100%.
Listen, you can laugh all you want. We've twice had to remind you that this isn't real. All right, we've had a conversation with you twice that this isn't real.
Well, it's real to Miles. Let's be honest. This is his baby.
I'm talking about Danny.
Yeah,
We've had to remind Danny twice that this isn't existing.
And that being said, we absolutely love everybody. Just because the 5 of us don't come to a consensus, it is a 3-on-2. Yeah, a 3-on-2 vote, right?
Maybe you should sit this one out.
A 3-on-2 vote. So whoever has the most votes wins and moves on to the next round.
All right.
Consensus.
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put the bracket up there and take a look at who's competing in this tournament. All right, let's take a look at the top matchup of the night. Carson Erfurt and Haley McCoy. I'm just going to say this. If I had to put them in a 1 through 8 seed of who I thought was the best players in this tournament, I'm just going to say Carson Erfurt would be my number 1 overall seed. I think she's fantastic. I think she can get to the hoop as well as anybody. She's a knockdown shooter. I think she's got the complete package. She's my number 1 seed.
Tough to go against the all-time leading scorer at Ottawa Glandorf, right? And it's an open floor competition, meaning if we had that outlet passer for McCoy where she could outlet it and then post on the low block, I think that'd be an advantage for her. But this is a guard-oriented tournament, right? I think Carson Erfurt moves on.
Yeah, I agree. You're talking about one of the best in this area that's ever come through. Carson Erfurt and all the accolades that she's had in multi-time conference player of the year. She multi-sport athlete. She has all of those attributes, especially when you go one-on-one. She can take anybody one-on-one. And I think in a tournament style like this, you're going to see the skill set of being able to get to the basket, being able to put the brakes on and hit those mid-ranges are all going to come into play. And she's going to be, as we move through this, she's going to be very difficult for anybody to knock off.
I think it's only right that we start off with a future Finley Oiler too, because I think half the girls we had in the tournament last year are now at Finley. Lauren the Turbans, and everybody Michelle Duran loves in the world. So as far as Carson Erfurt goes, it's hard to find a more complete two-way threat. She can hit a shot on the run. She can finish at the hoop. She's very physical on defense. Tough to see her get knocked off. I don't know that we'll see her get knocked off the entire night, but that'll be to be determined down the road.
I think it's a clean sweep here. I'm going to save my notes on what I have for Carson for further down the tournament. Looks like she's moving on, though.
Oh, you like it, yeah.
I know, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at game number 2. All right, here we go. Megan Gherkin and Kalia Luster. Oh, my goodness. Guys, I like Kalia Luster from Lima Senior. I like her quickness. I like her overall game. For me, she moves on.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that one, Danny. I think Gherkin is one of those players. If it's a game that's played from the free throw line down, I like her, but this is open floor. I just see Clea Luster having too much quickness. She knows how to finish around the basket, go through that height. I mean, she scored 50 points in a game, so this is a game where you're going to score points. I like her opportunities there.
I mean, as much as I love arguing with you guys and proving you guys wrong consistently. So, I agree with you guys. I can't see myself going in a different direction for this pick, at least for this matchup. What Kalia does, her quickness, her ability to score, I think that's going to be what comes into play here the most, and I see her moving on.
Look, guys, I can agree with you here, but I don't want to discount Megan Gherkin because three-sport athlete, all conference in 2 of them, and look at that family tree. She's got a brother at the University of Findlay. She's got another brother who's getting a lot of college looks too. She's an incredible athlete in her own right, and she does a heck of a job over there at Liberty Benton with Cora Deerhart in that lineup. But Kalia Luster, I mean, listed at 5'4", might be generous, but with that small stature comes a lot of quickness. You mentioned the 50-point game. She also had 42 against Maumee Valley Country Day earlier this year. She had 26 in the district championship last year against Elida. And don't forget, on December 10th of this year, she was a special Spartan, got to throw down a dunk. So I can't bet against anybody that people will carry around the gym.
Yeah, this was the most difficult one for me in this first round because, I mean, Kalia Luster, I mean, you don't get much better with guard play than that. I mean, she's athletic. She's had multiple 40-point games. She scored 50 in a game, as you mentioned. Megan Gherkin, though, she has that 6-inch height advantage, and she can drain some threes. I think she had 5 in a game recently versus Patrick Henry. So I could go either way on this one. I'm going to go with Clea as well, but also we have to think Megan's just a junior. Probably going to be here next year as well, so we'll give you that.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at game number 3 in the Queen of the Court tournament. Trying to drag this out. All right, let's take a look. Sydney Payne from Kenton taking on Clara Goki. Guys, I have got to cover Kenton quite a bit this year, or not this, this over the last couple of years. Sydney Payne is fantastic. When I say this about one player, I'm not taking anything away from anybody else. I just really like Sydney Payne's game. She's carried this team. I think she's a fantastic athlete. Really like her in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sydney as well. Although Clara Goki, she's been so fun for me to watch this year. She's a fantastic player for Spencerville. She was nearing that 1,000-point threshold for her career. Unfortunately, ended her season due to an ACL injury, which Sydney Payne also has an ACL injury. And you could tell the hit that took that Kenton team when she got injured. I mean, she was averaging almost 21 points a game. So I'm going to go Sydney on this one. But Clara, she's been probably one of the most fun players I've got to watch this season.
Look, I don't want to bet against the toughness of Clara Goki here. She tried to play through that fully torn ACL, and maybe it didn't work out for her, but that definitely makes her tougher than anyone at this table, I'd have to say. Right. So,
at least Danny.
Oh, well, at least Danny. But when you talk about these two, and I think it's really ironic that the bracket was set up that these two with the knee injuries are against each other.
Oh, it's just a coincidence, I promise. I promise.
But we can't ignore that. But when you talk about two girls who can really take over a game, are the true number one scoring option for their team. Sydney Payne at 41, 38, and at least 3 more games of 20 points when she only played 9 this year. But one thing I really love about her is she had 20 steals in those 9 games too. She gets after it on defense. I think it's going to be hard to stop her when she's got the ball in her hands, and I think she's going to be able to get the ball out of Clara Goki's hands a couple more times just to put her over the top.
So this is where I picked my first upset of this tournament. I'm going with Clara here. I think what it's going to come down to in this matchup between these two, with as prolific as Sydney can be scoring, in this style, in this type of game, I think it's going to be the rebounding and the toughness underneath that is going to keep what is going to be a very close matchup, and it's going to be a late rebound, and I think that's going to give the edge to Clara, and I think that she's going to come away with a very close victory.
I'm with Nate in the fact that it's going to be a really tough game. Remember, you got to win by 2, so I could see this going into overtime. This might be a 9-11 type of affair. This will go deep, and I think that it puts it in favor of Clara Goki, right? Because she's going to chase down those long rebounds even when the legs get a little bit tired. One thing that you brought up, Kelsey, when you talked about her early in the year was her ability to hit a step-back 3. Yeah. I think that is huge in this type of environment. I'm with Nate. I think Claire Goki moves on.
All right, guys, 3-2. Sydney Payne moves on, correct? Is that how we're doing it?
Did you pick Sydney?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
I did that earlier. Yep, I did. All right, guys, let's take a look at the next matchup in the Queen of the Court. This is exciting stuff here. Kendall Palti and Brooklyn Kester. So here's what I like about Kendall Palti. Everything.
Yeah.
I think she is as complete a player as we're going to see in this tournament. Look, I have nothing against anybody else when I say this. I have watched Kendall Palti just do tremendous things, getting to the rim, rebounding, defending in a one-on-one tournament. If you can do all those things, you're going to go far. I go Kendall Palti.
So I have no problem starting, and I'm also going to go with Kendall Palti. Now, for me, and it may just be because I wasn't paying enough attention like I should have, but her coming out party in the tournament last year was to me the biggest eye opener. The jump that she seemed to take in that tournament run when Columbus Grove went on that run to win the state championship last year just put her in a different level than I had seen her, up to that point. And I think she's only continued to get better. We're talking about an individual tournament here, but when you look at this Columbus Grove team as a whole, I don't know that anybody would have thought last year at this time that, they'll be better a year from now because they knew what they were going to be losing. And this Columbus Grove team may be better than they were last year with Lauren Akhmoudi, and that is really saying something considering the talent that Akhmoudi was. And a big reason for that is the next level play that they're getting out of some people, including Kendall Palti. I think she's playing really, really good basketball. I think that she's take that next step. She's a leader. She knows how to play tough defense. She knows how to score, and I'm going to take Kendall Palti in this matchup.
Brooklyn Kester is very athletic. We all know she can dial it up from long range, a tremendous shooter, good quickness, 5'6". The problem for her, though, is she's going against another really good athlete in Kendall Palti, who's 5'10". So she's going to do a really good job of closing out on those three balls by Kester. The thing I like about Palti, too, is she can face the basket. She could actually play with her back to the basket. And in a right-handed dominant tournament, she's not afraid to finish on the left-hand side. I got Kendall Palti moving on.
Now, these two didn't play one-on-one earlier this year, but Columbus Grove and Ottoville obviously play every season. And if you look at those numbers, yes, Columbus Grove does play more of a zone, so they weren't necessarily going right at each other. But Brooklyn Kester struggled pretty mightily in that game, 4 for 11 for only 9 points. I think I like Kendall Palti's defense in this game. But, man, there's a lot of things to like about Brooklyn Kester when you get 1,000 as a junior. You're a coach's daughter. You're in that traditional Ottoville program that always seemed to continue to spit out good guards. And guys, it's just another person who's got a offer to the University of Findlay to continue the Putnam County All-Star team. But I think I'm going to stick with Kendall Palti in this matchup.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys. I mean, I honestly think guard play probably goes to Brooklyn in my opinion. But, Kendall Palti, she's on this Grove team with so many other superstars, and she's still averaging over 11 points a game, over 50% from the field. And just her coaches just go on and on about her work ethic. She's always putting in the hardest effort. She's a really good motivator and leader for this team. So for those reasons, I'm going to go for Kendall on this one.
All right, that moves us on to round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at our round 2 action here. Carson Erford and Kalia Luster. I'm going to start with Chris on this one.
I'm just sad that these two teams haven't played each other before.
Right.
Because the electricity of the offense paired with the absolute suffocation that Ottawa Glandorf's defense provided would be a lot of fun, especially trying to see Kalia Luster at the top of the key kind of go through the top of that zone and stuff like that. But when you look back at this game and you know that Kalia Luster's got a little bit more of the quickness. Well, you say that, but then Carson Erford's also the WBL Soccer Player of the Year.
Right.
So the footwork's there. Obviously, the basketball well-rounded repertoire is there as well. I think she's a little bit too tough defensively and probably a little bit more physical down low when taking it to the hoop. So I'll go with Carson Erford.
For me, this is one of those matchups where I think that this is Carson Erford's biggest challenge in this tournament. No matter who you
I would agree.
No matter who you would have put her against. I think that Kalia can do the things that you would need to do in order to knock off Carson, especially in a make it take it type situation. If she gets the ball first with that quickness, she could be up really quick, multiple baskets before you ever see Carson Erford have a possession, and that could come into play really big. It is really hard for me to go against Carson Erford, and with the dominant play that we have seen out of her. But man, this matchup, Kalia could pull this off.
You're struggling on this one.
I really am.
That's okay.
Because I think the type that they play, this is a matchup. Sometimes matchups make fights, right? And that's what this has done. And this is the type of matchup that I think you could see Carson Erford struggle with, that speed of Kalia, and Kalia can finish quickly at the basket. And you're not going to get a lot of those trail, type of blocks from behind. She can get around. She can move around. And I'll tell you what, guys, I didn't think that I would do this, but I'm going with Kalia Luster.
Okay.
Me? Okay, so yeah, I agree with Nate. This is a tough one, but I did make the seedings, and Carson Erford is one, so you probably know where I'm going. But I do think this is going to be really tough. Carson, though, she has a little bit of a size advantage, which I like. I've seen her drive to the basket so many times. She doesn't care who she's up against. I think that gives her an advantage here. And also, she's 46% from three, 75% from the free throw line, 20 points, almost 21 points per game. So just for those reasons, I'm going to go with Carson.
All right, so it's 2-1 Erford, right?
Yeah.
Look, there's only one of the two players right here that is on social media wearing a Spartan helmet, armor, and a sword. That tells me she's ready for battle. I'm going with Kalia Luster, 2-2. I love this quickness that she brings. Don't be surprised if this goes on and on and on, and this is like an 18-16 matchup, and finally one of them wears out because both are really tough. But give me that Spartan sword and Kalia Luster.
Can we have their older brothers play one-on-one?
Yeah, I guess I'll cast the deciding vote. Look, Kalia Luster's really, really quick. But when you take Carson Erford, that quickness is not an incredible advantage. It's an advantage. But Carson Erford can still move her feet. She can still defend. She still slides side to side. And when you do look at an advantage size-wise, Carson Erford can get to the rim. And I think Kalia would have trouble all day stopping her when she gets the ball in the paint. Therefore, I'm going with Carson Erford.
That's a tough one, man.
And God bless Kalia Luster, because if any other tournament, I'm picking her probably to win it. But I just like Carson Erford. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the next matchup. I'm sure we'll have as much trouble picking this one as the last one. Sydney Payne and Kendall Palti. Miles, let's start with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm
not casting a deciding vote on this one. I'm telling you, it's coming to you, Nate.
Look, I just absolutely love the athleticism and the length and the ability to reach by Kendall Palti, right? Payne's going to get her opportunity to shoot, but there's always going to be a hand in the face. I'm not sure it's going to be the other way around. I think Palti's going to have better looks than Payne, so I'm going to go with Kendall Palti.
Okay, here you are going.
I'm watching. Go ahead, buddy. I'll let you.
Look, I love Kendall Palti. I think defensively, she's as good as there is in the area. I think she's fantastic. Rebounding, toughness. Sydney Payne is a bucket getter, guys. She has carried this team. She had a really good roster last year. She was the best player on that team as a sophomore. If she wasn't hurt, she'd be the best player on that roster this year. Yep. Sydney Payne moves on for me.
Sydney Payne much more polished on the offensive end, I'd say. If Kendall Palti steps out, hits a couple threes, could really stay in it. It's hard to really predict that, but just for the simple fact of, that Sydney Payne came off of a team that had a lot of scoring options last year. A lot of those scoring options graduated, kind of had to take it upon herself to score a lot of points early on, so she knows what it's like to take over when it's time to take over. So I'm going to ride with Sydney Payne on this one.
I'm hoping you pick somebody so he has to.
Should we?
I go for it. It's not going to bother me at all. I already know what I'm picking.
It won't bother him at all.
It's really tough, honestly. This is the toughest one for me, for sure.
You sound like Danny from last year. Remember every round.
Yeah.
This is so tough. This is so tough.
Guys tournament.
This one really is I've gone into all these kind of with an idea, but just as you guys have been talking, I've literally went back and forth in my head. Oh, this is so difficult. I think for me, oh gosh, I don't know. You go first. I don't know.
That's fine.
I genuinely don't know.
Listen, at the end of the day, my bracket didn't have Sydney Payne here. I had Claire beating Sydney in round one.
You did, yeah.
So this isn't that hard of a decision for me, because I thought this matchup would be different. So for me in this situation, It's pretty simple. I'm going with Kendall Pulte.
Oh,
So
boy.
where are we at? Oh,
2-2.
So it is going to come.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
gosh,
gonna-
you guys.
Nate's on the side of a Columbus Grove repeat in this tournament.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's a good point.
Where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you thinking here, kid?
I don't know if you know this.
In all fairness, mine wasn't going to change.
I gave you an out.
Yeah. And now,
Kelsey, do you ever play cards?
I do actually sometimes. But okay, so I went into the. I know. Can they both move on?
I really like them both.
So good. Okay, I genuinely went into this thinking I was going to choose Kendall, but after hearing these two, and that Kenton team last year was so good. Sydney scored 21 points a game. I think I'm going to go with Sydney.
Oh,
Listen,
It's
Kels,
hard.
don't feel bad. This is
I
how this
know.
works. I did not think that I would pick against Carson Erfurt this whole
Yeah.
time, and I literally talked myself into Cleo Lester, thinking of her skill set and what I've seen out of her as we sat at this table. It's all right.
Right.
It happens.
You see what happens when you think too much. Though.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those
Causes
things.
real injuries.
This is why I don't get accused of it very often.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an all WBL final. Carson Erfurt from Ottawa Glandorf, Sydney Payne, the Kenton Wildcat. Let's go with you first, Chris, and Miles is going to go last.
All right. Well, first of all, I love the fact that this is an all WBL final because we had a Putnam County winner last year, and I think the talent is equally as good, if not better, in the Western Buckeye League, and especially when you talk about these two girls and you're talking about real first-team talents, should they be healthy. And Carson Erfurt has also struggled with injuries throughout her career, too. Battled through it. She still wears a shoulder harness that I don't even know how she gets her arm above her head sometimes. But incredible toughness on both sides. If Sydney Payne was playing this year, maybe I have a little bit more sample size to convince me. And that's not her fault. We can't all try to play through torn ACLs. I know I wouldn't do it. And the fact that she's a junior, I think she's going to be the number one seed in this bracket next year. So I gotta stick with Putnam County, but not the Putnam County League, and go with Carson Erfurt as the queen of the court.
So for me, I'm looking at this, and even though I had Carson Erfurt getting beat, I feel like to me that was my championship.
Right. Good
And
point.
Carson Erfurt pulls off that upset, or she wins that matchup, even if it wasn't an upset. Even if I didn't have her here, that shows me she has the talent to be here. We all know how good she is. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that the skill set that Carson has, her ability to do all the things that we've talked about. She can shoot to three. She has a mid-range game. She can finish at the rim. She's not afraid to go and get herself an offensive rebound and do the dirty work underneath the basket as well. I'm with Chris. My queen of the court is Carson Erfurt.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but last year, didn't it come down to Carson Erfurt
Yes.
and Lauren Moody?
Yeah.
Yep, and Lauren won. So for me, honestly, the standout player of the year so far has been Carson Erfurt for me. It's hard for me not to choose her. I mean, just all three levels. She can get it in at the basket. She can shoot the three-point line. She's so athletic. It's just hard for me to go against Carson Erfurt. I mean, OG has such a great program, and she's their all-time leading scorer. I think that just shows her ability there. So for me, it's going to be Carson.
And she's beaten almost everybody else on this
Right.
list
Right.
when their teams have gone head to
Good
head.
point. Do we have any doubt that she wasn't working like at 6 a.m. on a court somewhere in Ottawa, Glandorf, chanting to herself, "Queen of the court, I lost last year. Queen of the court."
She
going
wasn't
through
going
the
to be
legs."
denied.
No,
wasn't
this
gonna
is
happen.
something that really drove her, right?
You look at this kid, and you want to talk about checking all the boxes, shooter, offense, defense. Not only that, big game player, all-time leading scorer, regional championships, state tournament. I mean, it doesn't
multiple
get
sports,
That's
too.
all she
multiple
does
sports.
is win.
All
Yeah.
she does is win. Sydney Payne is fantastic. Sydney Payne, who said it, is probably going to be our number one seed next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
She's as good a player as in the area, but Carson Erfurt is special. She's a senior. My vote goes to Carson Erfurt.
Next year in the tournament, the Queen of the Court tournament, I think Sydney's going to deliver a lot of pain to people that she plays against.
nice,
However,
Miles.
this year she's
Didn't
going
see
to
it
feel
coming. Nope.
she's going to feel the pain at Carson Erfurt. People forget how good she is defensively, right?
No.
I'm not sure Sydney Payne's going to be able to get to the hoop on her without it getting it picked. Carson Erfurt, just amazing player. I think she wins this one. I think she wins it easily. I think our new queen of the court is Carson Earthberg. Long live the queen.
That's right, absolutely.
It's going to be a tradition that every winner of Queen of the Court goes to Finley and plays for Michelle Durant.
She won't mind that, right?
And we
No
can
question.
see them all
She
play
watches
together.
this is how she maps out her recruiting.
That's right. All the recruiting just comes from this segment right here.
Absolutely.
Can I just say one last time? These are really tough matchups.
Yeah, they are.
They were.
Just say this one last time. It's probably the only time of the year that we do get along with each other as far as making the picks. Now, we don't always agree with the picks, but we always come to a consensus, right?
We do.
If you did not like the brackets, Kelsey Beimer, what's your email?
Miles, HOL.
Three Wiseman at WTO.
Yeah.
You did a great job putting it together, Kelsey.
You don't need the note card to know it either. It's crazy.
Kelsey Beimer, Chris Howell, thank you guys so much.
you, guys.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back into the Three Wise Men, and it's Valentine's season, and love is in the air, and we just want to, show the love here on the Three Wise Men, and we've brought in Mean Megan, lovely.
Nothing
Mean
says
Megan.
love like Mean Megan.
Yeah, right. She's going to award, gentlemen. She's going to award her coveted rose to one of us.
Sure, why isn't it black?
And well, I am a little nervous.
Just by her touching it should have turned
Yes.
black, right?
Imagine, though, how important it is if we can earn the love and earn the rose.
Would be a
from
big
Mean Megan.
accomplishment.
And
You're right.
You're going to earn that love by telling
Hopefully.
Mean Megan why this time of year for the basketball season is the best time of the year. We'll start with you, Nate.
Oh, okay. So, Mean Megan, the reason that I love this time of the year, and it is the best time of the year, is it's that feeling that we all get when the season begins. Anything is possible. We're at a clean slate. No matter what happens, we have hope. We think that this is what we're going to win state championships and district titles and make regional trips, and we're going to be the Cinderellas. Everybody feels like they can win a state championship. And this is the only time of year where that's possible. And we get these teams that make these runs that we don't think about. We get to follow these stories. Teams are getting healthy. You got players ending their careers. Everything about it is romantic. Every time that we watch a game, something is ending while something else is continuing, and it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And this is why we all love it. It gives us a feeling that we get no other time of the sports season.
That's beautiful, Nate.
My good friend Nate he brought up the romance of high school basketball in this time of year, right? Sure, we all love the big crowds for these big games. We all love the tournament atmosphere. We all love going to Dayton if our team makes it. We all love those big moments, right? But honestly, we all love the fact that we're getting closer to the most important sport. Football. By the end of basketball, that means football is going to be right around the corner. That's why this is the best time of year, Mean Megan.
Those are beautiful, guys. I'm very proud of you. I've wrote some words down here that I'd like to share with Lima Land and with Mean Megan. As we head towards the end of these boys and girls basketball seasons, I will explain to you our love, our passion, and all of our reasons.
Sounds like letters of Danny.
As the season winds down on these chilly, frozen nights, we look to Mean Megan for that guiding light. We look for warmth, like in a beautiful pair of warm leggings. We look for positivity of you, Mean Megans. That was a stretch.
To keep it together.
Yeah. Like the world needs a first lady, kind of like Nancy Reagan. Lima Land Hoops needs the positivity of Mean Megan.
Oh,
yeah.
What does this have to do?
nice. Nice.
Just because it rhymes. Don't be seduced by the rhymes.
Megan, thumbs up and thumbs down. Lima Land awaits your fate. Miles and Nate call you Mean Megan. I call you Megan the Great. Yeah. Basketball season and Megan, they go hand in hand. The newest darling of the media here in Lima Land. From the way you choose games to your fabulous cooking. I won't mention the bad things that Nate and Miles say when you're not looking.
To suck up to her?
I know, I guess, yeah.
I will finish with this. As Miles and Nate continue to tell the world that you are nasty and mean, I just told all of Lima Land why you are the WOSN queen. Now, Megan, you have to pick one of us to give the rose to. Is it Nate Garlock? Is it Miles Holliday? Or is it Danny Holbrook? You may choose. Oh! I put so much time into this.
You and me, buddy. It's up to you and me. I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Please, Mean Megan, please.
Oh!
Here's your palm, Megan. Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations, Nate. Congratulations.
This is the greatest
Very
honor
sorry.
I've ever won in my
Yeah.
life. I earned the love of Mean Megan. It is not an easy feat.
Yeah.
You know what? It's because I didn't pander, Danny.
I spent
didn't
time.
pander.
I spent effort. Can I have
Ink.
my palm back?
Spent
Yeah, I
ink.
spent ink. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna keep it?
You know,
I thought you would.
I would be upset. However, I didn't come in third, so that's good.
Yeah. Hey,
How you know you didn't
the
come
worst
in
thing would have
third?
been being Danny.
I was closest to her. She didn't. There was no.
I
ranking.
saw the look in her eye, Danny. I know.
Thank you, Mean Megan. This will carry me through the tournament. This time of year is the greatest time of year. There is no question about it, and this proves that once again, like pretty much every other time, I'm right and you guys are wrong.
And Nate wins.
And Nate wins. He gets
Winners
the
win.
rose.
And
Winners
happy
win.
Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy
Valentine's Day, guys.
6 months too
Valentine's
late.
Day,
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Mean Megan, right here. Welcome back to the Three Wise Men, and it's that time of the week again where we give you the WSN basketball schedule of the week, breaking down the biggest and brightest games in Northwest Ohio. Game 1, gentlemen, Elida 3-15 at Bluffton. They are 7-12. Myself and Chris Howe making his debut. Gentlemen, the Bulldogs from Elida have lost 6 in a row. The Pirates from Bluffton have lost 2 in a row. This is a showdown in Bluffton town.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you're Elida, you really got to get off to a fast start because they struggle to score the rock, don't they? And we know that Bluffton, especially with being Ginther at the top, on the basketball, he's a great on-ball defender. If this is one of those things where Elida gets off to their typical slow starts, struggle to score the rock, that I think Bluffton's going to win this one. I really like Brody Donnelly. Wow, what a freshman he is. He's got all three of us have got a chance to watch. I like his ability to score the basketball, and being Ginther, his ability to defend, and of course Robbie Taylor from behind the arc. I like Bluffton's opportunities in this one.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to that. I think you kind of hit it. We talked with Coach a little bit in the earlier about this matchup as well. Bluffton's been playing better. You mentioned they've lost a couple, but that was to Columbus Grove in that rivalry. But prior to that, they were on a 3-game win streak. They've won 3 of 5. They're starting to round into form. They're starting to find, I think, their footing over there in Bluffton. I like their chances in this one. Brody Donnelly really coming on. I think that'll be a key. Finding a secondary score is going to be important for the Pirates as they move towards the tournament, but I think they're going to be okay.
Game 2, Tuesday night, Shawnee at Columbus Grove. Dave Bowen and Darren Nevergall on the call. Look, this Shawnee team has won 5 out of 6, but Columbus Grove has won 8 in a row. We've been saying it all year. They're a dangerous club. They're playing their best basketball of the year right now.
Yeah, they better play really well when they take on Shawnee, right? I'm wondering how is Landon Best going to get his scoring opportunities if Shawnee decides to put Trevick Berkey on him. We've seen Trevick Berkey handle just about anybody this year outside of Cam Elwer. He is a lockdown defender, and Landon Best is so important to that Columbus Grove offense. If they limit him, I'm not sure how Columbus Grove is going to score the basketball other than Basinger, who, as we know, is a really big-time player in the low block.
Well, and I think he's going to be the difference. I think Basinger is going to have a huge role in this one. He's done a great job working underneath. Something that maybe is a little bit of a weakness for Shawnee as they're trying to rotate guys through it down there. But because they have guys that Trevick and Beckett are going to have to guard on the outside, they're going to have to get someone on Trevin Baxter. They're going to have to get somebody on Landon Best. Gavin Browser's a really good ball handler as well. That's going to leave some room for Brady Basinger to work down low. Shawnee's going to find a way to counter that. Columbus Grove likes to get out and run in transition. Another thing that Shawnee really likes to do. I think you're going to have an up-tempo, back-and-forth game. It's a great tune-up for both of these teams as they go into tournament to kind of see where they stand and what they may need to work on in this non-conference matchup.
And keep an eye on Gage Sauter, too, for Columbus Grove. I think he's a guy that can defend one of the Berkeys pretty well, 6'4", has a long length. So I think he's going to be key for this game as well.
Game 3, Thursday night. Sadie Hawkins would say the women pick their dance partner, right? I know that's a reference you guys know.
Sadie Hawkins?
Yeah. Marion Local's picking Minster to play. Marion Local comes into this game 14-7. Minster 17-4. JKB, the world knows her as Jennifer Beck, and Kelsey Beimer, the princess of positivity.
Well, something's got to give here because Minster, 13 times they've held opponents under 30 points. That's incredible, right? What a great defensive team. But Marion Local is a team that has scored over 50 points 9 times. So what a match matchup of the irresistible force against an immovable object, I'm not sure who wins this one because of that.
Yeah, and surprise, surprise, right? Marion Local and Minster good at some sport. It's weird that MAC have a really challenging matchup on this Thursday night. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a great game. We know MAC games are always like this. Two really good teams. And like you said, Miles, something's got to give in this one. I am really interested to see how this one plays itself out.
I will make one prediction, though, okay? Kelsey Beimer during that broadcast will say, I don't know who's going to win this one.
I think you're right. Game 4 Friday night. The world has been waiting for this one, gentlemen. Shawnee takes on Van Wert. Randy Roberts, Miles Holiday on the call. Eric McCracken would say, "Bring it on, Shawnee. We'll take you."
I'm Eric McCracken.
I'm Eric McCracken.
I love that one. So what an atmosphere for Van Wert. They're going to have a blackout. They want everybody to wear black. They're going to break out the terrible towels. They're going to give out 200 white towels to the first 200 people. They want everybody to bring a towel. Xavier Kelly kind of rolled his ankle on Saturday night. That's a big if, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if he can't go and
all
be
hands on deck?
Right. If he can't go and can't be what he is, because when he is quick and he's a dynamic passer, that makes that whole offense much better over there. So that's a big key. Keep an eye on that. If he plays, even if he's at 90%, the matchups in this one are going to be absolutely fantastic, right? Xavier Kelly, this quickness. But to me, I think the whole big key, guys, is going to be who's going to be the big-time three-point shooter, because it's kind of even everywhere else, isn't it? Is it going to be Griffin McCracken, who's hit 29% this year, but he's had a lot of this rimmed out, right? Around the world, if he gets that night where he's red hot, or is it going to be Luke Marshall, fancy shooting Marshall, right? He's great from behind the arc. To me, whoever has the best three-point game that night is going to win that one.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't get much bigger than this in the Western Buckeye League. It's been a long time since Van Wert has had a game that's going to matter this much on their home court. We knew that this Van Wert team was going to be talented. We weren't sure it was going to be this year. We thought maybe a year from now. They are clearly a year ahead of schedule. They got talent all over the floor. Those guys are ready for the prime time right now. But now they got to come out and prove it, because Shawnee, you had OG, you had Shawnee, and now Van Wert, if they want to take that spot, they have to take it. And Friday night is their opportunity. That is going to be a big spot for them to see where they are. We talk about getting tournament ready and these matchups and all these other things. That is going to be a tournament atmosphere, but no one's thinking about the tournament that night. This is all about supremacy in the Western Buckeye League, and this matchup doesn't get any bigger.
No,
Can I make a prediction?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, not me.
Big key, though, right? If you can keep Keaton Welch out of the lane, he was so dynamic getting to the lane against Ottawa Glandorf. That was a big key for them to win. So Shawnee's got to do a good job of that. Van Wert had a little bit of trouble with Big Bad Brody Fortman. He's 6'4", long length. OG had 20 points against them. Well, it was the team that has some really nice length, right? Trevik and Becca Berkey. Right. So there are a lot of questions. But what a great matchup. The two of the best coaches in Northwest Ohio going at it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Game 5 Friday night. It's another WBL showdown. Wapakoneta goes to Elida. Mark Shine and Jerry Snodgrass on the call. Wapak comes in with a stellar 15-4 record. We talked about Elida already at 3-15.
Yeah, you just wonder, right? We talked about Elida not scoring the basketball. Well, who's one of the best defensive teams in all of Northwest Ohio? Wapakoneta, right? They've done a great job of defending. 5 times they've held opponents under 30 points. I really like the length on the back end of Caleb Adams. I like Wapakoneta, the way to defend. Who's better being connected on the defensive end than Wapakoneta? For the Redskins, too, it's about starting to get some of that momentum back that they've lost. They started off the season, they were 12-1. They've gone a little bit hitting a little bit of rough times here lately. It's about getting that momentum back, starting to get back underneath them. Defense never is going to leave you, and it's never going to fail you. That is the identity of this team. They're going to fall back on that. They need to find some ways to be a little bit more consistent on offense. I think that's the one thing that has been hurting them here on this back part of the season. But if they can start getting that and they start getting a little more confidence in the offense, the defense is always going to be there. This is a dangerous Walpock team. Elida could be in for a rough night.
Game 6 Friday night, we get down to the MAC. Minster at Marion Local. Nate Garlock, Josiah Stober on the call. Minster comes in at 13-6. Marion Local 16-1, ranked number 1 in Division 6 in the state of Ohio. Guys, I love this matchup because Minster has the size and the guards to play with Marion Local.
They do, and I've had the chance to see Minster. I've yet to have a chance to see Marion Local, so I'm really excited about getting to see the Flyers for the first time this year. Obviously, heard a lot about him. Seen some of the clips and some of the stuff that we have done here with WOSN. But to go down to the hangar, to be in that gym, in that environment, and that atmosphere for a big-time matchup like this one. I'm excited. I think Marion Local, yes, they have the one blip against Delphus St. John's, but so does everybody else. There's, that's a standalone thing right now.
Don't measure them on that one.
Exactly. Everything else that they've done, you've been singing Mesher's praises all year long. Excited to see that.
Easy to do.
Excited to see that in person. I think it's going to be a good matchup. It's a good test for Marion Local. For Minster, it's one of those measuring sticks, right? We talk about that. It seems to be the theme this week when you look at some of these matchups. It's some of these teams need to see where they are. And I think that this is that type of game for Minster.
Both teams have won 6 in a row, right? One thing you got to make sure that you do when you play Marion Local, defend the backdoor cut, right? What a great win over Spencerville when they had the backdoor cut, Mesher to Kramer for the finish. Here's the thing I like about Minster, though. Cole Albers, the big polar bear, right? He is so much fun. Yeah. And Cole McClurg. And if at times it's tough to say Marion Local struggles against anything, but at times it's really good guard play and some post presence right there. And what happens, Danny, when you apply pressure to Cole? It turns into diamonds. I like Minster, the 2 Coles, getting it done.
It Smiles' first mining joke of the year. Game 7, Friday night. Crestview at Lincoln View. Dave Bowen, surprise, surprise, and Jack McGuire on the call. Gentlemen, rivalries do not get bigger than Crestview, Lincoln View.
These 2 teams
high
don't like each other?
No! They're separated by about 8 miles of hate. This is a big-time rivalry.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the line for this one, right?
Yeah,
If you're Lincoln View, one of the biggest surprises in this area with the season that they have had, with the way that they have looked, the way that offense has played, they do have the one conference loss, but they get a chance at home on their floor to beat their biggest rival and to guarantee themselves a share of that Northwest Conference title. This is a big game and a big moment for these Lancers.
Yeah, Nate, I remember one of your favorite cars was the Ford Tempo when you were growing up, right? And that reminds me a little bit of the way this game...
Significantly younger than you two. Just FYI.
Yeah. He didn't have a Ford Tempo. What did you drive? What was your first car?
78 Trans Am.
Again, significantly younger than you guys. I had a Plymouth Chrysler Fifth Avenue. That was my first car. It's a nice car.
That was nice. All right. So tempo, that's the big thing, right? If this game is played and it scores above 60 points, I have no doubt in my mind Lincoln View is probably going to win this one because that favors what they want to do. Max Hammonds is an unbelievable score. But if this is a slow 40-point grinded out affair, the thing that you love about Crestview is they've gotten to the free throw line 101 more times than their opponent. That means they're controlling. They are beating people up. If Crestview can keep it in the 40s, maybe even low 50s, they win this one. But if this is up and down, I like Lincoln View big time.
Game 8, gentlemen. Who will drink out of the Lima Cup? Lima Senior and Lima Central Catholic. Mark Shine, Jerry Snodgrass. Guys, we have watched this rivalry for years. And I don't like to say throw out the records because sometimes there's a blowout, but most of these games, when they are close, they're epically close. Like last-second shots, crazy shots. Everybody remembers the Xavier Simpson shot from years ago.
No one will ever
forget that. It was amazing. And you could see it on WSN.
Well, I just wonder, though, Jordan Purdy, he's going to arrive. He's going to do a good job. But those guys at Lima Senior, they have a lot of pride. Somebody's going to look at Jordan Purdy and say, I want to shut him down, right? And they're going to do a great job. A lot of people have tried it. He's going to get 20-plus in this game. We know this, right? The problem, though, for LCC, where are other points going to come from? I just think it's much easier for Senior to score the basketball in this game than LCC. I think Lima Senior's got the advantage because they're a deeper team, and they can really control the tempo because of that.
Yeah, and it's a tough week for Lima Senior. They have a lot of basketball games this week. They got the TCAL Championships tournament, so they have a game Tuesday, they have a game on Thursday, and they have this game on Saturday. But the one thing that benefits them is that depth. Coach Simpson can run a lot of guys off of that bench to come on the floor. This is how they were built. They want to have those fresh legs. They can get up and down. They can push that tempo. It's definitely going to benefit them. The key to all of this is you want to stay healthy through runs like this. You want to make sure that everybody is good. You don't want to try to push anything. This is a rivalry game. There's storylines all over the place. These kids know each other. They all play with one another. They've all spent time on whether it's an AAU team or they played together in elementary or middle or even high school at some points. This is one of those games that bring the community together. LCC will be in absolutely full capacity on Saturday. It'll be a big environment. Always excited to see how these games play out. I think you're right, Miles. There are a lot more scoring options for Lima Senior than for LCC. Someone's got to step forward. We've seen Brady Parker start to kind of work his way up offensively.
I like his game.
Don McKee, same way. I think foul trouble is going to be a big thing for LCC. They don't go as deep as Lima Senior does. They have to stay out of foul trouble. They're going to see pressure. They've got to be able to handle that from Lima Senior if they want to stay in this one.
Can I give you a name that I think is going to have a huge one? Taco. Who doesn't love Taco?
I love tacos.
Yeah.
Not a Tuesday. Oh,
Yep. He led Lima Senior in scoring on Saturday up in Michigan.
Yep.
There you go. Game 9, gentlemen, Saturday evening. Delphos St. John's goes to Crestview. Delphos St. John's with an unblemished 19-0 record. Crestview 13-6. Randy Roberts and Miles Holliday on the call.
You don't think there's anything extra maybe that Delphos St. John's is going into this one? A little bit extra on their mind.
Maybe.
Nothing from maybe last year that might be creeping up that they want to kind of get that taste out of their mouths. Maybe. Listen.
What's he going with this?
Listen, Crestview knocked off Delphos St. John's last year, one of their few losses. I had the game with Dave Bowen, Delphos St. John's and Bath on Saturday night. He had a great trivia question for me, and we talked about it on air. They're in Cam Elwer's class, that 4 years, this run that they have been on, there have been 3 teams that have beaten the St. John's Blue Jays twice.
Ooh.
Can you guys name them?
Crestview,
That's one.
Spencerville,
That's the other one. One more.
Marion Local.
Not Marion Local, not a MAC team.
No, not a MAC team. Crestview.
If you pull this one, I got to be honest with you, I'll be really impressed. Crestview, got it. Spencerville. 2 NWC teams.
Not around here, a team. Not
PCL team.
PC. Kaleida.
Pandora Gilboa.
Pandora
PG.
Gilboa.
Wow.
Knocked them off their
Mike
freshman
Lee.
and sophomore year.
Yeah.
They knocked them out of the tournament run after the injury with
Some good
Cam.
teams from Pandora Gilboa.
The Harris brothers, they were really good.
But Crestview is one of those teams. They have just found a way to kind of be able to play with this Delphos St. John's team, be able to take advantages of weaknesses and come away with victories. So they get the win last year. Yes, Delphos St. John's has looked unbeatable, and they have been this year. But don't put anything by those Knights. They know how to get it done.
Well, it's going to be interesting to call that game with my good buddy Randy Roberts and Dave Bowen over top our shoulder,
Yeah.
right? It's going to be interesting to call that one. Looking forward to it. Such an advantage, though, if you're DSJ. And think about this. You're Coach Elwer, and you walk into every gym knowing that you're going to be ahead 54-0 because you're getting 29, 16, and 9 from the Elwer family, right? So you're already up 54-0 over top of your opponent. So you just got to figure out how to stop the other team. I like their ability to outscore, but Crestview does have a puncher's chance because when you look at Will Sheets and Owen Heckler, what do? They rebound the basketball really well, especially on the offensive glass. Between the two of them, they average 6 offensive rebounds per game. They're going to have to get second chance opportunities against DSJ, and we always say DSJ, they get beat. We saw it last year. Arlington, size inside, physicality inside. Their leading rebounder, Cam, with 7 rebounds. If he's in there rebounding, he's not leading the break, right? So it's a two-folded problem right there. So their whole strategy should be this. Hope DSJ misses, and then rebound the basketball.
Good theory. Game 10, gentlemen. Rushi goes to Marion Local. Dave Bowen and Dave Bowen on the call. We are now cloning Dave Bowen. We have him twice here. That's how good he is. We are cloning Dave Bowen.
That's the show sheet around here.
Right, that's the show
Unbelievable.
sheet.
There was nobody assigned yet for the caller part.
So it's
So
just Dave
I
Bowen
thought
and
it'd be
Dave Bowen.
funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could see Dave actually putting the headset on,
Yes.
calling it, and then taking it off and
Dave-
putting in the
Dave can
color.
do it.
The guy plays checkers by himself.
He's a talented guy.
Guys, Rushi's 9-10. This is not last year's
That's-
Rushi team.
yeah,
They've
absolutely.
lost 5 out of 6.
Yeah.
Here's what Rushi needs to hope for. That Minster takes Marion Local into 8 overtimes Friday night.
Where's them at?
Because otherwise, it's going to be a big Marion Local win.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot here to hit on. This is not the matchup from last year. This is a very different thing than what we looked forward to at this point last year when these two teams matched up against one another. I think Marion Local will walk in this one and should look for, You still got to play the game, but it should be an easy night for the Flyers.
Yeah, you look at Russia and you say, well, they are 9-10. That's not too bad, 6-4. But their record against really good basketball teams much different. They struggle to score against those teams. That being said, though, Marion Local, as much as we like them, they don't often just run away and hide from people because the way the style that they play, they're going to keep you in the basketball game to some degree because of the tempo that they play with. Russia, though, is going to have one of those unbelievable shooting nights to get the win.
Our final game, guys, Saturday night, Spencerville goes to Van Wert to take on the Cougars. Myself and the positive princess, Kelsey Beimer.
Special K.
Special K, as you like to call her. We're on the call for that game. Guys, Spencerville 13-7, Van Wert 15-4. Both of them have huge conference matchups the night before, which makes a big difference. Look, this is going to be a tough game for both these teams. Owen Sensabaugh is back for Spencerville. That adds another dimension to that team. We talked about Xavier Kelly. Is he healthy? So look, on paper, Van Wert maybe a little bit of an edge, but I'm telling you, Spencerville, when they get backed up, they play good basketball.
Yeah, this one I think is all going to come down to how Friday night plays out. I really do. And for Van Wert, I don't know that if you win, are you going to be able to
party time.
Reel yourself back in and your emotions back in to get up for a game that's going to be really difficult with Owen Sensabaugh back. Spencerville's finding their footing. They're getting themselves back to where I think a lot of us thought that they would be. If you lose, are you going to be able to get yourself back up from that disappointment? This is going to, I think, say a lot. And this is a young team that we talked about. Win or loss Friday night, how Van Wert responds, I think, is really going to dictate how this game goes.
To me, though, it's that Spider-Man meme that are pointing at each other. Remember seeing that meme? Yeah. Because it's almost the same basketball team. You got the three-point shooting of Griffin McCracken, Jude Steeman. Both can be unbelievable shooters. You saw Jude Steeman firsthand, what he did against DSJ, that lefty with that great stroke. Will Sensabaugh against Xavier Kelly, two guards that are incredibly quick. Grigsby and Comer against Bragg and Crummy, two bangers inside each team has. And then Owen Sensabaugh and Keaton Welch. Both those guys love to get each other's opponents off kilter by getting their teammates involved. To me, though, it's just a great matchup of high school basketball that's still going to do nothing but get these two teams better and ready for the tournament time.
Guys, it's time for our Stolly Player of the Week and our sensational Power 5 teams. Miles, we'll start with you.
My sensational Stolly player of the game, and it was a lot of fun to talk to Keaton Welch after they beat Ottawa Glandorf on that floor. I mean, he was just so excited because it had been forever since they had won on that floor that he didn't really know what to say, and just trying to get his emotions down. But the real reason I picked him, though, was because his ability at the end of the basketball game. You know how some guards, and it comes crunch time, and someone's going to have to go to the free throw line, and you see those guards like, you go ahead and shoot the free throws. Keaton Welch wanted that basketball in his hands. He wanted them to come foul him so he could go make the free throws. He wanted that moment and seized that moment. I thought that was a special thing.
Your top 5.
Top 5. All right. I have, this might surprise you, Lima Senior, DSJ, Shawnee, Arlington, and Marion Local.
Nate?
All right, so for my Stolly Sensational Player of the Week this week, I went with the freshman from Bluffton. I went with Brody Donnelly.
So
Love that kid.
He had 20 points in that loss against Columbus Grove, but really the whole reason that Bluffton was able to stay in that game and give themselves a chance was he took over. He got the scoring. Bluffton got off to a little bit of a slow start. They couldn't find a way onto the scoreboard. And then he just started going. And Columbus Grove did not have an answer for him. He did a really great job in a big spot. We need to keep an eye on this kid because I'm telling you, Brody Donnelly is going to be a special player for the Bluffton Pirates. So he is my Stolly Sensational Player of this week. And then my Power 5, DSJ, Lima Senior, Marion Local, Shawnee, and the Van Wert Cougars.
One thing about Donnelly, don't you love that he's got a little bit of a chip on him too?
Oh yeah, he plays with it too. And you know, it's a little bit of an unorthodox shot that he has, but it is so effective. But it makes it difficult to defend because the defenders are having a hard time figuring out where the ball is going to come off, and it's either drawing them fouls or they can't get to it in time because they hold back, and he buries it.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but he has made his way into their starting lineup. He will start tomorrow night, which I'm super excited
We
about.
saw him against Kenton, and we were like, this kid's going to be special. I love his handles.
Yeah. Guys, my sensational Stolly Player of the Week, I'm going with Derek Schultz from Temple Christian. Upper Saddle Valley came into this game undefeated in the league. Temple Christian They beat them 61-57. Derek Schultz had 22 points. He had 3 threes. He had 9 points in the fourth quarter. Temple Christians won 6 in a row.
Hey.
They're playing great basketball. Derek Schultz, if you haven't got a chance to see him, he's a fantastic guard. We don't talk about him a lot. Kelsey and I had him last year. He had a game winner against Ada, a really good Ada team. He's really, really good.
It seems like every time I do see a clip of him on social media, like the threes are deeper.
Yes. Yeah, he has unlimited range, I'm telling you. And my Power 5 guys, I'm going Lima Senior, Delphus St. John's, Marion Local, Shawnee, and the Arlington Red Devils. Same as you, Miles.
Yeah, nice
just a little
job. Great
different.
minds.
Great minds think alike. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching the Three Wise Men. Next week, check us out, the Lima Central Catholic T-Birds. They'll be flapping their wings in the house.
Flying high.
Flying high. We're going to have Jordan Pretty and Brady Parker. I know you know those names.
Yeah, well, I think we've heard them once or twice.
Yeah, we heard them once or twice. Thanks for watching, Lima Land. It's the Three Wise Men.